Hey everyone, welcome to the show. We're gonna set up some charts and stuff here while we're letting everybody sign on Thursday afternoon. So it's stuff here. So hey, let's get started. It is Thursday, June 21st, 2018. It was an interesting day in the market today, right? The Dow Jones continues its 8-day losing streak. It's 8 days and counting right now. Looked like there might be a little life in it this morning, but it just never failed to materialize. Yeah, the Nasdaq was down a little bit today. Maybe about almost not even 1%, about 68 points, but it's been making these new highs and stuff. So it makes sense that there'd be a little breather today. And the S&P, no different, is down about a little under 1%. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it was down, about 0.63% or 17 points. This long losing streak by the Dow, it's happening, but how important is it? We've seen in the meantime of this 8-day losing streak, right? We've seen the Nasdaq make new highs a couple times. The S&P it's kind of fluctuated, but it hasn't really broke down or anything like that. It's just been an interesting week. We're in Thursday, we're going into Friday tomorrow. No real major options expiring, no real weekly witchings. But we are rolling towards earnings season. So, and the big thing is the trade wars continue. With Trump and all his the Chinese and the Canadians, the NAFTA thing, these trade wars, it's still really what it is right now. It's still a war of words. They're putting out these lists, they're doing different things, but it seems like they're slowly coming to some kind of a normality here, where everybody's acting sane and things are going right and all that. And yeah, you guys that are showing up, go ahead and put your questions and comments in the comment section. I'll just finish my normal market review, and then we'll get down to business, right? The snap trade we talked about yesterday, rocking and rolling already. We're up right now. We're up about 23% on that trade overnight, and it looks like that short squeeze is happening. So all you viewers, yesterday we were talking about we opened up a snap trade this morning as a service, or we opened it up yesterday. We're in some $13 calls. We're about a month out, so plenty of room on those. We're in the money, and we're up about 24%, which is really nice, right? So, in red market, green market, blue market, orange market, we don't care. We're making money no matter what. So, if you need a little help, you go ahead and click that link below. Or type that into your browser, the stock pick profits, and let's continue on with the show here. Yeah, it's snap trade. It's an interesting trade, right? And you think about it, very lethargic days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Very lethargic, trickle down, red market, a lot of bad news cycle, the immigration argument, the trade wars, just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of scary talk, right? If you're not prepared to disseminate that information. And what's been happening is, there's an old saying, never short a dull market, right? So you see what we were doing. We were in there looking for plays, right? No matter how far the market goes down, it's never a day where every single stock is red. When the market's going up, it doesn't mean every single stock is green. So your job and this is how it was in the old days before we had these big rallies and stuff, where you basically now, there's points in the market where you throw a dart at any board, just take a symbol, buy it, and it'll go up, right? But now it's becoming a stock picker's market. And what that means is we're a long on tooth bull market, right? And we're going into about 9 years right now. So it's been a long bull market, and so things are starting to flux out, and maybe we're rolling into some stagnation. Maybe we're rolling into actually a sell down, a correction. Who knows? But during that time, it's important that you stay focused and you're making the right plays, because as we roll towards the end of this bull market, it becomes more of a stock picker's market. You see, like today, All three markets red, a lot of bad action going on, but there was a good trade, right? And we found it with the snap trade. So like I said, we're up about 23, 24%. If you got into that, good luck to all of us. And we're in the money. So we've got some choices to make, which is always nice. So, it's kind of a calm market day, and let's just close the commentary part with, we mentioned it yesterday, right? We mentioned about this immigration thing. We've been talking about it since Monday. And what we've been talking about is, what we've been talking about is how, I lost my train of thought. What we've been talking about is how, this is a stock picker's market, and you have to be very, very smart about the way you play. There's always something going up, and there's always opportunities, whether the market's blood red, where the market's bright green. So like I said, let's close this commentary talking about something a little outside of the market, which was that immigration discussion, because we want to close that discussion right now. And we want to close it with an important point that we told you was coming. On Monday and Tuesday, with this big fight over immigration, what happened was we kept saying, we don't want Trump to sign an executive order. We want a bill. We want a law. And we kept telling you, Congress is failing us again. You can blame it on Trump. You can blame it on Obama. You can blame it on anyone you want. But where do the laws come from? The law that we haven't gotten since, 2014, when those pictures first came out, 2012. What's happened is we haven't got that. And so, we didn't get the law. And look what happened today, right? Yesterday, Trump signed the executive order, right, to keep the families together. What's the first thing Congress did today? They pushed the vote off. They're not even going to vote on the bills now. They're not even going to discuss it. Why? They got somebody else to do their dirty work for them, right? And as usual, they did nothing. So you remember that come November, okay, gang? So, let's pop down to the old questions and stuff. It's kind of a fun day for us today because we're trying out some new formatting and stuff. Wow, our web team is just so crazy good. We're doing out some new formatting. So you see, we can have just me on the screen. We can have different things. So you guys enjoy that. And sorry if there's a little stutter in the commentary and stuff, because we're trying to work out moving parts and commentary at the same time. We're learning too. And I'm an old dog. It's not as easy to teach me new tricks. So, you guys enjoy. It's a lot of fun. And we'll keep adding. Our web team's just incredible. They'll keep adding these features. Let's go down to the comments. Savar's here as always. We know you're in the snap play, right? We were talking about it in the group this morning, how well it's going and all that. And we've been talking about in the past too, is over the past week, we talked about in the show last week, we set up a bank play with Bank of America, and that looks like it's starting to take some life too now. Bank of America had a nice day today. What was it up here? We can pull up Bank of America. Yeah, we ended up up about 5 cents, but it was a good day. It actually pushed even higher than that. It had a high of the day of about 29.45, closed at about 29.29. There was a little push down towards the end of the day. Especially when you got into that last half hour. People aren't sure of themselves right now, traders. So if you're one of those traders that aren't sure of themselves, because in an interesting story we'll share with you, if you're one of those traders, when we opened a snap trade yesterday, a couple of people on the trade team were telling me, Pat, every time you open a trade, one thing we've learned from you is every time you open a trade, you absolutely believe it's going up 200-300%, don't you? And I said, absolutely. I go into every trade, guns drawn, locked and loaded, and ready for big gains. And you know what? Too many people don't do that. How many times do you know, maybe yourself or somebody when they push a trade, they're like, I hope this goes up. I hope I'm right. I hope, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go to church after this and pray on it and light a candle and all that. If you're trading like that, then this is one of the few times that I will actually push this. If you're trading like that, if you're trading scared, if you're trading unsure, then you should be joining the team, because every trade you should be have it disseminated. You should have a plan. You should have an entry plan, an exit plan, what you're going to do if it goes south, what you're going to do if it goes north. You should know all these things going into it, and you should be sure of yourself. Okay. And if you're not, then you need some help or you need some guidance, and come get it. But let's get back to the show, because let's get back to the comments, because that's the fun part. And guess what? I'm going to give you just me on this one. But hey, Sana, welcome from Sweden. Sana's a trader now, right? Sana, you should be in some trades. Oh, Sana, you are too kind. You are too kind. Sana says, Pat, you look good in red. Thank you. Thank you, Sana. You always make my day. I appreciate that. Oh, Savar, as usual, has a question. About your comment on Congress inability. Suppose you were an idiot and suppose you were a member of Congress. Good old Mark Twain. I'm going to leave that up there, Savar. Because doesn't it make sense to you guys? I mean, isn't it just, it's so funny. They're like, I wish they were a stock, because we could play them. They're so predictable. You know, the best stocks to play are the ones that are predictable. And these guys are so predictable. He signed the order, not even 24 hours later, we're not going to vote. I guess they can go on their break and stuff now, right? Because somebody else solved the problem. Somebody else is taking responsibility, you know. So sad, so sad. And let's put that one back up too, because we like that comment. But you know, Sana, you signed up, man. A couple months ago? It took you a while. You're in Sweden. You set up an account. You're trading. You're probably making some money now. We're all having fun. Sana, you're a great example of that. You know. So let's see who else we got here. We got a few people here. You know, mostly the good evenings. Savar. So yeah, Savar, man, that pretty much puts it in a nutshell, right? I mean, suppose you were an idiot and suppose you were a member of Congress, right? But I repeat myself. Shoot, that's so funny. But you know, we're about 15 minutes into the show, and you know, everybody's just kind of showing up and stuff now. So as far as the market going forward, you know, let's talk about the little market, because I mean, there's not a lot of comments and not a lot of questions today. So you know, let's talk a little bit more about the market. It's been really an interesting market. It's like we said, it's a stock traders market. It's a market where you have to be in tune right now. You know, it's a very dramatic market right now, right? I mean, things will be going so well, things will be pushing the highs and all that, and then all of a sudden a tweet will come out or something will come out, and it just goes in under the gun, right? And so you have to be very, very smart in this, and that's what we were talking about before. And the trade team was saying, you know, man, you're so confident when you go into these trades. You need to be confident. And the way you're confident, the way you build that confidence is you know what you're doing, right? You're prepared. You've tracked the option contract. You know what you're going to do. If the stock goes up 25%, what it should show you on the option contract. You've read the news on it. You've read the chart. You've done your technical work. And when you click that order, guess what? You're feeling good. You're 110% sure that thing is going to go up and you're going to make some money. So just remember that, you know, and if you, like I said, if you need some help, there it is. But other than that, there's just not a lot to talk about today. You know, let me just scroll through the news here while you guys are looking at those cool graphics. Well, the White House is planning to merge the education and labor departments. That's kind of an interesting decision, right? I don't know how they work. I don't know well enough how they work to get too far in that. You know, Amazon's still a buy. Analysts are still calling Amazon a buy. The Fire TV cube, man, is really hot right now. There's a lot of press about it, you know. Let's see if there's anything else worth it. And there it is. That's your House delays vote on compromise bill. Jesus Christ. As chances of passage are dim. You know why? Somebody else put the bullseye on them now. All those other idiots are going to step back now, right? Oh, now anything that goes wrong at this point, Trump, right? So good for you. If you've been ducking sales taxes for your online purchases, it's game over. That's just they're implementing sales taxes into all these e-commerce programs and stuff. So other than that, there's just not a whole lot of news today. So let's see. Okay, Savar, you actually have a question. I knew you would. Most of the plays are currently in the red, some by quite a bit. Is that a reason for, I mean, does it do that? Okay, now these are questions for, remember, this is proprietary. This is inside. And actually they're not down that much, Savar, but I'll answer that in the group. Okay. Because we do have some plays that are red. We have a gold hedge. I think that one's down like 70% right now. Let's go look. Let's go look. I mean, look, see, you guys pay for this information. So if you ask me a question and it's in public and I give away the information, don't get mad, okay? But Snap, we're up 23%. Amaran, we're up 7%. AINV, we're flat. UUP, we're down on the bid and the ask. We're down about 40% on that. Bank of America, we're down on one set 80 and one set 40 with the stock starting to move. And yes, that is exactly. No. Why would that change your psychology? Why would that change your psychology? You got to ask yourself this question. Why would that change your psychology? I bought a contract. Okay. Think about it like this. I bought a contract on a stock. Stock's trading at $10. I bought a contract month out. I believe it's going to go to $15. Okay. Now within that month, it go up, go down. Yeah, nothing goes, you know how it is. Nothing goes straight up, nothing goes straight down. And so you got these fluctuations. Again, I don't care what happens in between point A and B. All I care is by the time I get to point B, I'm cashing in big money. Maybe if things work out really well in between point A and point B, I can cash out for money. But unless something technically goes wrong, and that means it breaks a big support level, or if we're short on it, it breaks a big resistance level, then you have to bail on the trade. But again, you should have all this information before you click that buy button. Don't leave anything to chance. You should know I'm buying this here. I'm expecting by this time it's going to go there. If it goes down to this point, I know that the trade's going wrong. I need to bail out. If I'm short and it's going up too much, I know what my points are already. And you see that in the group when we talk about the technicals and stuff. We talk about the resistance and the support. Oh, Samuel's here. Samuel is in Arizona right now. Welcome, Samuel. And I'll push your answer here in a second, but that's what it is. Again, you have that plan. So how many times have people getting shaken up? How many times have we laughed at people? Like, especially, you weren't with the group, Savar, but if you think back to when Brian Ross from ABC put out that fake report and it crashed the market, and we identified something in that report real quick that we knew it was a lie. And so we bought that bottom and we made a bunch of money on an S&P play, on a spider play. Samuel will probably remember that, but it happened really fast, right? The report came out, boom, the market just crashed. It was mid-afternoon, the market just crashed. And then the market realized that it was a lie. It was fake news, and it readjusted. Well, we noticed that in the report. Oh, Samuel, that's a good one. I'm going to put yours in just a second, Samuel. But, all these guys knee-jerk. Imagine if you owned Amazon and it popped down $10 and you just sold it. Well, you didn't know what was going on. You were making bad decisions, right? So that's the psychology of it, Savar, is you have a plan and you should be following that plan unless it breaks a technical level that you don't want it, that you think is serious. Then you would bail on the trade. But too many people it's called getting shaken out of the trade. One of the old things that you say, well, actually not old things, but back in the 99, 2000, when online trading got got popular, what happened was everybody thought market makers were a big conspiracy, right? That was the old thing. Oh, the market makers, they just stole stock. They just stole stock. They're going naked on a stock. What going naked on a stock? A market maker is the facilitator of a buy and a sell, right? They have a buyer for 10 shares here. They have a seller for 10 shares here. They put them together. What happens is, so they should have, if they bought 10 shares of stock, they should have 10 shares of stock. What a naked short is, or a naked long for a market maker is where they just buy or they just sell and they don't have the return trade. So they go what's called naked. And that used to be considered a big conspiracy in 1999, 2000. But it's what it is you're getting shaken. And what that is on the level 2, if you guys look at level 2, which you guys all have, if you have a brokerage, it's standard now. You see the market maker lineup. People say that the market makers can see where stops are and stuff. And if they know a stock's going to explode, the old, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't really live or trade by this rule. But what they say is if they know it's going to blow up, they'll go naked on it and they'll just start buying shares without selling. And then when it goes up, they'll unload those on all the buyers. And then you're left holding the bag. It's called getting shaken out of your trade. But that's what happens is. And it's just that unsureness, right? You know, be absolutely sure. Because Samuel has the good one. If you have an investor mentality, you'll realize that you will win and lose, but always grow. Poverty consciousness creates desperation and makes people want to constantly question. That is where you lose your money every time. To put this, what Samuel said in a nutshell is, don't second guess yourself. Stop second guessing yourself. And then Samuel had this is probably my favorite Warren Buffett saying of all time. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Isn't it true? Isn't it true? People always ask us, you know, oh, you're so good at identifying moves and stuff like that. Why don't you day trade? That's too much impatience. That's too much. There's not enough. There's not enough to it for a trader like myself, or for Samuel, and for Savar, and for Tala, and for Sana and Roland and all you guys that are in the group, Marco and all the, we had a couple new ones today. Remember, that's not you. That's not you. You're not the impatient. That's why we don't day trade. That's why we have a plan when we go into shares and stuff, you know, and that's important. Samuel, thank you so much for that comment, man. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And absolutely, Savar, and we preach this in the group, right? I'm not a technical analyst. Really, none of us are. You know, and exactly, that's what you pay us for, Savar. Bingo. And Samuel says it, man. Samuel said, you pay us to worry. You know, and I got all my hair and stuff. Everything's good. Okay, let's see what we're. There you go. That's the answer too. That's a good answer to Savar. What you said. The only way you can lose is if you stop investing, stop playing. Remember, Savar. Right before you came in, we had those 5 losses in a row, man. 5 losses in a row. That's enough to make anybody quit, right? Well, guess what? We came back with 5 over 100 in a row. You know why? Because we never stopped investing. We never changed our strategy. We always thought the long term. We were not short term. We weren't in it. It wasn't a make or break. Every trade wasn't a make or break for the portfolio, right? You know, your winners should help. Your losers shouldn't hurt. And absolutely, Savar, you keep playing every play, okay? That's the way. You know who will tell you? There's a couple people in the group that'll tell you that. In fact, I think Kenny, if you talk to Kenny about that, because he started right when we had those losses, and he started, and we had some heart-to-heart conversations. Kenny's a great guy. If you guys in the group have a chance to talk to him, a little shout out to Kenny. But he was going through that. You know, we had the losers in a row. He had just started. He was like, dude, did we win any trades? And I'm like, yeah, we win a lot of trades. We win more than we lose, and we track. So, and we had a heart-to-heart talk, and we told, we explained to him how the buying program, if you follow that, you have plenty of room to make different trades. You should never be short on cash or anything like that. You should never have a loss just destroy your portfolio. Even 4 losses shouldn't destroy your portfolio. 5 losses shouldn't destroy your portfolio. It happens. And guess what? Kenny today, rocking and rolling, man. No, Kenny didn't leave. He stuck through it. He stuck through it. We had some. That's why I mentioned Kenny, because he stuck through it. But you can ask Samuel. Samuel, of course, is our big boss, and he runs the office and stuff. And he'll tell you, the minute you have 1 or 2 losing trades, man, you'll see people drop off. It's just normal human behavior. It really is. People come in and they think, hey, what's up, Jesse? Welcome, Jesse. Nice. We got Jesse in the house today. But yeah, don't worry, Savar. That's you know what I mean. You keep playing every play. You follow that buy program, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Look at that snap trade, man. I know you're in the snap trade because we talked about it yesterday. So we're gonna rock the hell out of that. And then think about this. And this is, I'm gonna share this in public. Think about what we're sitting on with these snap options. We have $13 calls, which still have a month on the contract, right? Stocks trading over $13, so we're in the money. So we have good things to decide going down the line, and we'll talk about that in the group. But just so everybody out there can understand how much fun we have in our trading group with all you folks and with the trade team is, look, some point here we're going to have to decide how much do we want to sell at hundreds of percentage of profit, and how many do we want to exercise so we get some cheap snap stock, right? And if your profit on the contracts is more than the cost on the stock, guess what? You just got free stock. Wonderful, right? So, and that's how we play. That's how we play. Hey, Jesse. Yeah, well, market wasn't green today. The portfolio was green, but the market wasn't green. And thank you, Samuel. Samuel's full of wisdom today, man. If you were told in 3 years your wealth would triple, would you even bother worrying about it on a day-to-day basis? This is the old story Samuel always hears me tell you. If I told you, give me $1,000, and in 2 years, I'll give you $10,000 back, guaranteed. And you knew it was guaranteed. Now, when you hand me that $1,000, you have 100% loss, right? You have just handed me the $1,000. What do you care what I do with the money as long as you get your $10,000? Same thing with an option play, right? I mean, so it goes down a little bit as long as it doesn't break any levels. As long as by the time it's time for me to pay that $10,000, you get $10,000. And that's what it is. If I told you that your $250,000 portfolio would be $1 million in 3 years, and you said, okay. And what if after a year and a half, you're down a little bit, right? What do you care? After a year, you've got the $1 million. And yeah, Jesse, it's great to see you too. It's great to see you. I'm having a bad hair day today. I don't know. It's usually fluffier and stuff. I don't know what that's got to do with anything. But, if you guys, this was, let me put this back up here because that way you guys can see the market for the day. So for the day, the Dow was down about 187 points, the S&P down about 1750. The Nasdaq had a nice little pullback, almost a whole percent today, and that makes sense because it's been making new highs, right? And the Russell 2K has been making all-time highs too. Russell 2K is your small cap stocks. Generally, they say you can't have a real bull market without small caps participating. The last few days, they've been by like the Nasdaq making new highs. So that's a good thing to see too. So Savar, always. Thank you. Thank you for the good questions, buddy. And Samuel, thank you for all the wisdom. That's good stuff. There you go. You can put that back. And so, gang, we're a little over 30 minutes here. So, I mean, if anybody has any more questions, we'll be glad to address them. If not, let's call it an afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon. Let's all get some rest, get ready for a big Friday tomorrow. Like we said, shouldn't be too eventful on the wild side, because it's a Friday and the only thing that's expiring are some weekly options. So we don't have any options in the program that are expiring tomorrow. So you guys that are subscribers don't have to worry. But other than that, let's call it an afternoon. It was a fantastic show. As always, it was a good time. Thank you all for joining us. Be sure to come back tomorrow. We'll be back about a half hour after the market closes. Let's see what kind of Friday it is. It looks like this trade war talk is starting to sort everything out. With Trump, we're coming back with lists of things we can compromise on. There was a couple things about that today in the news. Again, we start off with this blah, 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 and this attacks and stuff, and then we kind of all come to the table and we negotiate and we make a good deal. And that seems like what is happening. Again, this immigration thing, Trump had to stand up and do something about it. And then right away the next day, Congress said they're not going to even vote on it. Why? Because Trump did their job for them as usual. And then Sana, thank you. Sana, you have a great evening. Savar, have a great evening. Here, before we go, let's talk about this real quick. Have you mentioned or heard anything about people wanting the market to crash and the system to crash? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's been a bunch of articles about that, Jesse. Something that we've talked about before is, we like to watch twitchy.com. It's kind of a summary of tweets and stuff. And it's funny, but a lot of celebrities, they had identified a lot of celebrities and people, and even one congressperson that straight up talks about the economy failing and unemployment going up and stuff just to punish Trump. That's scary. That's scary. The market's not going anywhere and the system's not going anywhere. Okay. Again, the Samuel and I have had this conversation for a long, long time because, Samuel is the marketing world and stuff like that. And so he sees all the BS that people will put out. And one of the biggest ones is always the imminent crash of the dollar. The market's going to go upside down. I think Goldman yesterday put out an article, right, where they were saying that gains are going to the market's going to go up the rest of the year, but gains are going to be tough to find. That's a marketing thing from them, right? What they're doing is subliminally telling you that the market's going up. You're not smart enough to make money. You need to hire us to do it for you. So that's basically what they're saying. We're more honest about the way we do things. Let's see here in case I missed anything. But yeah, that's a great question, Jesse, because it is happening. It is happening. People are rooting against the system and the economy and all that. There's a lot of people that are really hoping that guy doesn't get his 4% GDP. What if unemployment stays for the whole year at this record low? Right now there's more jobs than there's employees. It's fantastic. What he's done for this economy is just insanely good. I don't even remember in my lifetime, I'm going to be 60 next month, and I don't ever remember in my lifetime any president making this much of an impact economically. So you can say what you want about the social battles with him, but economically, he has really just torn it up, man. He's just got it going on. And Sana, as always, thank you also. So I think that was a good way to close it because, look, you guys, if you guys are trading, we always talk about that old story about that client we had, and he was so worried about North Korea firing a missile that he actually closed his portfolio, sold everything, closed his portfolio. And if we went back and looked at the day he closed his portfolio, if he had just kept what he had in it and not let this North Korea news cycle scare him out of the market, he'd be pretty much almost triple what he's got now. So you remember that. And Samuel said it best, right? Let me find that comment from Samuel here. Samuel had a good one here that plays right into this. And there it is. Look, the guy gave up, right? The guy gave up. The only way you can lose is to give up, right? The shot that you're guaranteed to miss is the one you don't take. So don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Anyways, so you know what? We always like to end the show with a little saying. So today's saying, yesterday it was make a difference. Today's saying is don't be that guy. All right? Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that sells his portfolio and goes and hides in a bomb shelter. And then when he comes out, he finds out that we're friends with North Korea now. Anyways, all right, gang. So let's call it an afternoon. Thursday, wonderful day. Thank you so much for your questions. You guys come back tomorrow. We'll be back about a half hour between after the market. You know, we're gonna play some more with these features that our web team have built into this for us, and we're gonna get a little better at it. So tomorrow we'll try to do better. And remember what we said. Today's saying is don't be that guy. Okay.